السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. خياري dhammaantiin waa idin salaamaya salaam ka bacdi waxaad ogtihiin in lagu jiro xilligii doorashada seasonkii doorashada election cyclekii ayaa bilowday dadku already way bilaabeen inay vote gareeyaan wiigagan oo dhan way socotay ilaa second May ama first Mayna early voting wuu soconaya marka yaa u vote gareynaysaa hadda Somali community tahay Muslim tahay African community tahay qof madow tahay oo aad runtii wajahaysid caqabado badan oo wadankan aad kula kulantid wadankuna uu u socdo xilli futurekiisu uu isbedelayo yaad siinaysaa codkaaga yaa xaq u leh codkaaga waa su'aal u baahan in runtii la isweydiiyo waa su'aal u baahan in runtii laga jawaabo waa su'aal u baahan baaritaan iyo waqti in la geliyo haddaba anaa waqti kuu geliyey anaa soo baaray si aad adigu markaad dhegaysatid bolisiyada iyo waxyaalaha xisbiyada kala duwan ay ku campaign garaynayaan aad samaysid decision adoo markaas wixii kuu kala cad yihiin waxaan waraystay nimanka greenka la yidhaahdo qofkii musharaxa ahaa baan la yeeshay interview waxaan waraystay oo kale nimanka la yidhaahdo Victoria Socialist Party su'aalana waa weydiiyey aan u maraynayna su'aalahaas in badan oo ka mid ah inaad qabtaan waxaan kaloo la kulmay xisbiga Labourka la dhaho laakiin unfortunately ma rabin xisbiga Labourku way diideen on the record inay iigu jawaabaan waxay iigu jawaabeen si off the record ah oo yacni aan la duubayn ama cod ama muuqaalba way diideen laakiin intii su'aalood aan weydiiyey baan iyagana weydiiyey marka waxaa naloo ka baahan yahay as a community in aan markaan electionka aadayno ilaan maalinta effort baan gelinayna waqti baa naga baxaya ka hor inaan sii istaari garayno candidate kasta policyga uu u taagan yahay meesha markaan tagnana aan tagno annagoo runtii educated on the policy annagoo istaarigii samaynay homeoga diyaarnay garanaya qofkii aan u vote garayn lahayn iyo sida loo vote garayaba anaa isdiray aniga mas-uuliyaddan dareemay waxaa dhacday maalintii jimcaha ahayd inaan muxaadar ka jeediyey khudbadii jumcada masaajidka akhriyey waxaana ka hadlayay electionka khudbadii kadib maalmihii ka dambeeyey su'aalaa laysoo weydiiyey oo dadku ay rabaan inay ogaadaan yaan codka iyaga siinaa sidaa darteed ayaa waxay igu kaliftay in aan anigu investigation sameeyo oo markaa idiin soo bandhigo bolisiyadii xisbiyada kala duwan si aan markaas sidaan hore u sheegayba educated and informed decision u samaysaan wasalaamu calaykum daawasho wacan I'm here with the candidate for the party Green, and I'm here to ask her a question. The candidate's name, obviously, she'll introduce herself, Hong Trong. I'm from the Somali community. We have a lot of concerns that we share with the wider Australian community that are local concerns. And also we have overseas concerns as it pertains to the war in Palestine, I should say.
Genocide in Palestine,
Genocide in Palestine
Yeah.
and what those people are going through. So I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Let's go.
Let's start with questions as it regards to cost of living.
Yeah.
What are your policies to reduce the cost of living and to make life easier for all the members of the society?
Yeah, at the moment, cost of living is the number one issue. And we've been we've knocked on $30,000 doors in this area over the last 18 months. And number one, people are saying the supermarket prices are too high. And we want to support local suppliers and producers to make sure that they're not being squeezed out by the major parties. And we also want to make sure it's illegal for the supermarkets to do their price gouging, making fake discounts, making so much profit when our communities are struggling. Yeah, that's the key thing.
Fantastic. There's also the concern that the large members of my community, and I'm sure this is something that is shared across broader spectrum of the Australian society, housing affordability. If I give you an example, even renting a house, it's becoming increasingly difficult. For example, if I give you an example, I moved to my place in Point Cook 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was paying about $1,600.
Per
After
month.
3 years, per month. After 3 years, it's 2,580. What would you do about, getting that under control so people can afford a place they
Yeah,
can live in?
yeah. So for renters, we want to make sure that we can put an upper limit on the rate at which rent can go up. We don't want it to go high quickly because our wages need to catch up.
Yes.
We also want to make sure that if you're looking to buy your first home, you're not competing against the property investors. So we want to make sure that the tax handouts, the tax incentives for people to hoard 15, 20 houses to make it easy to get rid of those tax incentives, save like $10 billion per year, and make sure that we can build public housing and affordable housing specifically for first home buyers and for people who want to rent. We're very lucky. It's a very livable country, but at the moment, a lot of the power is for the people who are already rich. So we want to make sure to change that and give first home buyers and renters a chance to afford living in this country.
Thank you. Another question that I have, and this is on behalf of the community. We have gone through a police incident just within this month. I think it was
Last Thursday.
last Thursday. And a member of my community was actually
Abdel
gunned
Fattah
down.
Ahmed.
Yes, Abdel Fattah Ahmed, gunned down by the police. We are struggling to find transparency as it pertains to police investigating their own. As you know, it's very difficult to come to find justice when the very same people who have taken Abdel Fattah's life are also
Investigating themselves.
What are your policies when it comes to police brutality and guns and those policies? Yeah,
Elmi, my family came here as refugees.
we're in the same boat, so
Yeah, right.
we
Yeah.
have
So,
that in common.
right. 40 years ago, they left Vietnam by boat because there was a war.
Yeah.
And they came here and straight away they had Medicare, work rights. They had public housing. I went to public schools. If there was mental health issues, anything for the hospitals, we would get that help we needed. When we care for our community, the most vulnerable in the community, it makes us all safer and stronger. The state and Labor governments have really let down and we've lost one of our own. I was at the vigil after
Tuesday.
the next day.
The next day,
In the evening. And there's a lot of anger in the community and there's a lot of people, and I want the Somali community to know that a lot of people who have lived here for 30, 40 years, we're behind you, we're with you. We know that cops don't make us safer, and we can see that it's cost this young man's life. I was walking around talking to all the aunties and uncles that own the shops in Little Africa and down Hopkins Street, and they've seen over decades that police don't solve issues, and the root cause is inequality. The root cause is poverty, and instead of criminalising it, we should have made sure all our uncles and aunties in Somali, Eritrean, South Sudanese, they all say the same thing. Yeah. Mental health support, make sure everyone gets housing, and make sure that it's based in community needs. Right? We need it to be culturally appropriate. A lot of us have come from war. We can't be expected to just go straight into society. Absolutely. And we need the help and resources. I think what the community needs now is the political leadership to gather all the communities. And I hear very loudly that the African community want to come together. No more Eritrean over here, Sudanese over here. We want to all come together and Somali community too, to make sure we can solve our problems together. And First Nations people, I see the African and the First Nations community having strong solidarity because we're suffering from the same racialization. So 30, 40 years ago, it was the Vietnamese community with our gangs and our heroin problems. And today it's young African communities that are being racialized and targeted by police. So we're with you. Vote One Greens to make sure that there's accountability. We think that the police should be independently investigated, and that investigation is given to the coroner so that we never have this situation again. We stand with you. I went to the burial of young Abdel Fattah in Preston, and I can see the hurt. And that is in my heart
Yeah.
that we will stand with you and your communities.
Fantastic. Thank you. And lastly, my other concern that I'm relaying from the community
Yes,
to the candidates
sure.
is the issue as it pertains to the genocide that is happening in Palestine. What are your stands? And also, we know that
Sorry.
one of these two major parties will be the government. It will be either Labour or the Liberal.
Yeah, and
How
perhaps they won't be the government straight away and have to find a smaller party to negotiate with.
exactly
So hopefully it's the Greens.
in that negotiation process, how would you advocate for your policies as it pertains to Palestine and the genocide?
We have called since the very beginning, and we've been active in the Palestine fight because, you know, it didn't start on October 7. It started 77 years ago.
Yeah.
We have been adamant that we need to sanction Israel. We need to end the occupation. The Australian government needs to end all military relationships with Israel and stop our Australian manufacturers from sending weapons parts over there, because it's a genocide. It's a Holocaust. It's clearing of the humanity of these people. They're now recently, the World Food Programme said that Gaza is now out of food. So it is intentional, and it's a crisis of our lifetime. And I believe that if our communities across the South Sudanese community, Eritrean, Somali, Vietnamese, the Filipino community who are facing a fascist regime at the moment too, if we all got together and we helped put pressure to make sure that we are no longer complicit and help lead the global community to free Palestine, then we can have justice and peace in Sudan, justice and peace in Yemen, justice and peace in Hong Kong and Tibet, because we will know how to fight together for freedom and justice anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what we need to fight for.
Thank you. My final question, I'm sure it's going to be the final question.
That's okay.
A lot of the community, when I talk to them in voting for Green or, smaller parties, they are saying my vote will not matter. How would you convince to tell them otherwise?
Yeah, okay.
Because they're saying, effectively, if I vote for the Greens, the policies that I support will not be established anyway. So how would you convince the community to support?
The first thing is, I would say to the Somali community, don't wait for the politicians to change anything. Our power is with us. Our power is with our uncles and aunties, with our young people. We get out together and we fight. We say we need justice, we need safety, we need mental health services, we need to raise the rate of welfare and pension for our older people. Whatever we need, we can get it together. Your power in your vote is incredible. In Australia, we have preferential voting. If you make sure that if you are voting Greens first and they see that Labor is second or third, they will notice. Already, we have a policy for making it illegal for the supermarkets to keep jacking up the prices, making price gouging illegal. Labor and Liberal have taken it. So we are not elected, we're not yet elected, but we can still pressure them and push them because they know that the community is behind us. In Queensland, we said 50-cent tickets for bus and public transport, and the Labor government there took it, and they ran with it and they adopted it. So vote for what you want. Vote for the people that you trust, and then you will push the Labor and the Liberal Party to be better, or you will get a Greens elected. And out here, I'm telling you, we are working for your trust. 18 months, we've been knocking on doors, talking to community. You might have seen my face on the fences because we have trying to build trust and help people believe that politicians can be trusted and can represent us, and we're from community. So, yeah, have hope. Vote for the person that you want to win, and that will send a very good message to the Labor and the Liberal Party that we won't support them. It's dangerous to keep voting for them because they will not change. If they think that they're already going to win, they will not change. This is the time to tell them we want community voice.
Thank you so much. You heard that, everybody. So vote. Your vote matters. And
Always.
regardless, always your vote matters. And I would say, like I told you many times, avoid the major parties because they are not in it for you. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much.
Thank you.